Folks, we are back. FaZe Sensei, the Breakdown Boys.
Oos.
I need to learn that. Those hands were moving stupid fast. And you know those hands are going to be moving fast on fight night. One of the two in our main event this weekend, Sensei, Jake Paul or Tommy Fury. Now, today's episode is to talk about the fight a little bit, but more so to get Sensei's final prediction. And maybe a little bit of the card itself. We might do a full card prediction here because, well, no, we can't because I got a video coming out where I got to do my final prediction. I'm saying full breakdown.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll stick with Sensei's final prediction.
We'll stick with this.
All right. So
yes,
let's just get into it. We're fight week. We're here. Almost all the analyzation has been done. Let's walk through how, in your opinion, this fight goes. The bell rings. Round one is announced, and here both guys meet in the center of the ring. What happens now?
Before we do that,
sure.
I want to see if my mind can be changed at all.
Sure.
There was that little clip. So before we talk about it, let's get some little clip of Fury smashing the punch machine.
Oh, you want to see the punch machine jab? Okay,
I want to see
buddy.
it, and I want to hear what you have to say.
I actually haven't watched it.
We know I was Team Jake, right? So before that, I want to try to get some Tommy Fury doing something good, fresh on my mind.
Okay, Tommy doing something good here. All right, are we ready? Here we go.
What do you think about this?
I haven't actually watched it yet. He's rocking a fucking nice coat, and I'm not sure if those are his shoulders.
This is not going to be in the. This is this coat. The coat comes off. I think they'll watch those too.
Okay.
So we might have to fast forward a bit.
Oh, okay, that's fine. What I was going to say is his shoulders filling this coat out, or is this thing a puff? Because this man is wider than most trailers.
He is, dude. He's got boulder shoulders, bro.
Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use my jab because I don't want to scare him off too much. I never have a feeling if
I will say, I love that, by the way. Tommy's talking a little slick, man. Like, this has been a theme this entire camp is that they genuinely do not take Jake. Like, they take him seriously like they're ready for a fight. They're training, but they don't think this guy is worth a pro ranking,
I hate,
a pro status.
This is the same reaction from every single one of Jake's opponents ever.
Yeah.
Including Nate Robinson.
You know the one person, including Nate. You know the one person that is kind of getting a little, I wouldn't say waffly, to quote my UK brethren, but who is waffling a little bit on the side of the Furies? It's Frank Warren. You hear what Frank Warren has been saying recently? Not that he's thinking that Tommy's going to lose, but if Tommy is to lose, he's like, this is very bad. If Tommy loses, this is bad for him. For us, for the Fury name, it is very, very... And answering sincerely...
It's game over.
I was like, okay.
For Tommy.
All right, Frank. But all right, let's see what Tommy's got here.
I use my right hand, he might not show up. So I'm praying for him.
Which is ironic, by the way. Tommy's saying this.
Scare him off too much. I never have a feeling if I use my right hand, he might not show up.
I see... Bro, this is what I'm saying. I watched this, and I'm like, okay, whenever he says something, I'm like, bro, just show up. Can you just fight? Because I don't want to hear nothing from you, bro.
Fair play, fair play. All right. Jesus Christ, this man is jacked. Here we go.
Praying for him.
He may not show.
Right. Ready? So there's a jab. Oh, and that's what would happen in the ring. Oh.
He would hit him so hard his face comes off his body and it like gravity teeters to the ground like a cartoon. That's what he said.
Look at the score.
See what the score is.
It's just a jab.
That's pretty heavy.
9-7-1.
No, that's 8-4-1. 8-4-1.
No, but is that another high score to the right, or is that something else I'm reading?
That
Maybe I'm reading something
looks
else.
like 990 is the high, 971, and I don't know what that is. But 841 is his score with the jab. Now, granted, he's not going to throw a jab like that in a fight. At least I would advise him not to, right? But that's a pretty fucking hard jab, Sensei.
Hold on.
It's a big jab.
Look at the rotation.
No, I'm saying he's not going to throw that jab and leave any kind of room to be countered like that. But I'm not that it's a bad jab or anything like that, but it's just in a fight you're not throwing like that. But it's heavy though.
It is heavy, bro. That's what I thought. I said, damn, okay.
Shit is heavy, dog.
So I'm like, oh man, see right now this is why I wanted to watch this. 'Cause I'm like, I need this in my brain before I
Yeah. That's pretty heavy. Okay. So just hold on a second, Sensei.
Hold on, bro. What's going on?
Hold on. Let's just what you got to say here.
That's the jab. It's like I say, if I threw the right hand, he wouldn't be showing up.
Look at the biceps on that.
Dude, I said he's fucking jacked, bro. I am interested to see the old VADA testing for this one. But neither here nor there. Sensei, that's just a little sneak peek. What are you thinking of this fight?
Here's the thing. The thing with Tommy Fury that kind of worries me.
Yeah.
I know originally I was Tommy Fury.
Your Team Fury.
Like originally, back when they first.
OG, yeah.
All this stuff happened. I'm like, you know what, Tommy, get out of here, dude. Jake, just knock him out.
Right.
But I don't know if my feelings have gotten in the way a little bit.
There can be a little bit of that for sure.
The reason I say that is because what we've seen from Tommy, and if you remember back with the Anthony Taylor fight, right? Pretty boy?
Yep.
He had responded to the backlash about that performance.
Mm-hmm.
And he responded with, you guys don't see what we're trying to do. We're trying to get the Jake fight. And he claimed that he wasn't going full out so that he could get Jake to take that fight. Because if he sparked Pretty Boy, then maybe Jake wouldn't take that fight.
Right.
But then he gets the Jake fight, and 2 times the fight doesn't go through. Then we see his glorified spar with a sub-in opponent.
Right.
So,
by the way, that guy was for real too, but wasn't coming after Tommy at all. It was a basically agreed upon glorified spar.
So potentially, we haven't really been seeing the best of Tommy Fury.
You can absolutely say that. I have always said there's more in the tank for that kid. He's just he hasn't been able to put it together or whatever. Absolutely.
So you see that jab. Did maybe Tommy, like what we've seen of him, and then all of a sudden he may just be a little different, come fight night.
No, he listen.
Now, just leaving that out there. I don't know, but like there is that potential.
That's the word. There's potential because Tommy has intangibles that Jake doesn't right now. His footwork is more natural, right? Whereas Jake, people complain about Jake being flat-footed. It's not necessarily that he's flat-footed. It's sometimes that he's lumbering, right? He is a little bit of a lumberer where he is remaining comfortable, quote-unquote, flat-footed. There's not the bounce in and out, bounce, on the toes, moving. He's very much a lumbering into the positions he wants to get to, and then he'll sprint, right? And then it's boom, 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 boom. And then he gets back to his positions, and it's walking around, kind of hands up, getting ready, popping our jab out, but it's not the constant bounce on the toes, on the balls of the feet, you know what I mean? Tommy has that. Now, I think it's smart that Jake isn't always just, high-strung energy, because I don't know, for 8 rounds, it's tough to do, right? Especially if you're not experienced doing it. For Tommy, he has the intangibles, man. He's got a great jab. He's got an abnormal reach. The guy's built like a transformer. Like, that's Optimus Prime.
Crazy.
Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy. I think he has an 80-inch reach or 81-inch, and he's 5'11", 6 feet.
That's insane.
It's nuts, bro. So his jab is going to be volume heavy. It's probably going to be front foot, pressure on Jake early. The question you have if you're a Jake fan, and you put it really well when you said, am I being a little emotional here with this pick? I think a lot of that's going to come in because we're all YouTube family, and we want to see Jake and the KSI fights in the back of our mind going, we got to get there. So now it's turned from we want to see Jake get beat to we want to see Jake get to the KSI fight. We want to see Jake take, and it's probably because of a little bit of the way Tommy Fury's looked at too, to be honest. So I don't know.
I know. Well, with all that being said, I've now come to my conclusion.
Oh, you got it. Okay, well, let's go back to my original question.
Yes.
Let's go through the fight, and then I want you to make your prediction at the end. But how does the fight start? And then
let's talk through the fight.
Throughout the fight. How does it go?
So because I think Tommy, let's talk about the psychology behind it. I think this fight is for Tommy to lose, right? He cannot lose this fight. Tommy's the guy who's supposed to win, right? Tommy Fury, he's the Fury brother. He's the boxer.
Right.
He's supposed to win this fight.
Right.
So with that being said, I think there's going to be a little bit more caution on Fury's side to not get caught and get KO'd by the YouTuber in the early rounds.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want that to happen, right? And you know that Jake throws bums. So I think that Tommy's going to fight at Jake's pace. I think he's going to want to see what Jake is going to do. I don't see him going out strong and trying to push forward too much because there's a little bit too much risk there. You know?
Okay.
Even if he thinks he's better than Jake, I think he's going to be like, I'm the better boxer. I'm going to go out there, feel him out, and then just work him. So I think he comes out and fights at Jake's pace. And I think that's going to benefit Jake. Because like I said before, with Jake's previous fights, I think Jake has been let off the hook quite often because people have been afraid of those big shots that he throws.
Yeah.
And in those middle exchanges and after Jake throws his big power shots, people have not pressed him in the past.
Right.
And I thought that he wasn't that great. But then Anderson Silva did it, and he was great on those exchanges by this time.
Yeah.
You know, by the time he's progressed. So I think he fights at Jake's pace, and Jake is able to, I don't know about win early rounds, maybe win some early rounds, but survive long enough to get Tommy to think that he has the fight in the bag. And Tommy to build confidence. And I think that Tommy's going to fall into the same trap that everybody else has. Maybe he catches Jake early, just like when Anderson Silva caught Jake at the end of the first round.
Big time left hand.
And he walked back like, ooh, I got this kid.
Yep.
And right there, that's the worst thing you could do with Jake Paul.
It's almost like it's almost like the guys in their minds are convincing themselves of what they already thought in those moments.
Yes.
It's like that reassurance to be like, yeah, this is not going to be a hard fight. Tyron Woodley puts him on the ropes round 4. My time. This is what was supposed to happen. Now it's all downhill, and Jake finds a way to creep back into things.
And Jake is super underrated with his trap setting. He understands the trap game when it comes to, I'm going to set the trap. Maybe not this round, but the next round, I'm going to land it. Or maybe later in the fight, I'm going to have an opportunity to land a freaking bomb, and I'm going to pull the trigger.
That's the key.
And I think his opponents have just been blind to that.
Jake just doesn't give up on it either, right? He doesn't panic when he's down, and he was down in that Tyron Woodley second fight. I know that maybe the cards don't agree with me, but from what I remember, he was down in that fight, and that could have gone either way. And if it was going the way it was going to continue there, then Jake was probably going to lose a decision. A very unentertaining, boring, very much hesitant fight, but he didn't go away from what he knew was there, or what at least he thought was there, which is something super interesting. You don't see. It takes a lot of balls, man. It takes a lot of balls. But my question to you is, you said that you don't think Tommy's going to come out aggressive. Do you think that is because they've studied Jake enough to know that he is a decent trap setter?
Right. And he got it. I think you're a smart boxer. You got Tyson Fury in your corner. Go out there, use the jab, keep him at range. Let's feel him out. And then as the fight progresses, we'll take him out.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think you say just go out there. Tommy's a guy who hasn't fought a guy like Jake yet, so just go out there and just get into a bunch of 50-50s.
Right.
I don't think that's good for Tommy. He's got the reach advantage. He's supposed to have the boxing advantage, right? Go out there, and I'll box this kid.
Yeah.
School him. Take him to school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Show him the
sweet science.
Is really about. Exactly. But I think that's going to benefit Jake. I think in the middle to late rounds, I think Tommy's confidence is going to become his kryptonite.
Interesting.
I think he's going to get into an exchange, and I think Jake's going to freaking do what he always does.
Hammer.
Just land one.
Hammer.
Bam.
He has to, by the way.
And then once he lands one,
it's
he's
50.
on now.
It's the 50-50 you talked about. Once he lands one, the fight probabilities go like this. Shoo, immediately. Because now his confidence, and quite frank, like with Jake, when he gets the snowball rolling, it almost seems like you can't stop it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Whether it's just the momentum shifts that much and it's that late in the fight where he starts to take over, maybe he just wears you down. I don't know. But again, this is Tommy's a different guy. Like, this is not a MMA fighter, as you will say. But we just don't know, again, what Tommy looks like later in these fights. So, like you're saying, if he does come out and school him, gets a little overconfident, and eats one, what happens? That's the big question. Because I could definitely see the first part of that scenario where Tommy comes out, schools him, 100%. I could see him going in and legitimately putting ridiculous amounts of jabs on him to the point where Jake's like, fuck, I don't know if I have the skill to maneuver this yet.
Right.
I haven't seen this yet, But when we get to those positions where Jake hasn't seen something yet and Tommy hasn't seen something yet, I think Jake responds better. Just personally. But
dude, he just sat Anderson Silva down.
I know. I tried to tell people. I know that they're not the same guy, and I know that Tommy's a lot younger, and maybe there's a little bit more fire in his belly or whatever you want to say, but that's Anderson Silva over there.
Yeah, exactly. And but it's not so much the skill, it's the way that they approach the fight and listening to the things that Tommy is saying leading up to the fight. Because Anderson Silva has more skill than Jake Paul. And remember what I said? I was like, I'm worried that the wrong Anderson Silva is going to show up.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be switched on at the right time.
Yeah.
And that confidence, and if Anderson lands early, that's going to be the worst thing for him. And if he gains early confidence, that's going to be the worst thing for Anderson. Because Jake would just look at you if his nose is bleeding and lick his glove.
Just be like, nah, we good.
He feeds off of it. Where you may think that's the most dangerous point. Let's say you hit somebody, and all of a sudden this guy's going to fold. And you step in, and he's just like, here's the moment.
Yep.
And you're like, we see it all the time in MMA. Guys like, I got him. They run forward and bang, they get sat.
Yep.
And I think that I haven't seen Tommy in those situations, and I get the feeling that Tommy isn't as dangerous when he's hurt, where we've seen time and time again that Jake has been tagged in fights.
Becomes dangerous.
He's been tagged, and whether he's hurt or not is one thing, but when he's getting tagged or, let's say, losing a round, to me, he gets more dangerous.
He will duck that head, Sensei, and rip an overhand as you're coming in. He did it to Tyron Woodley when Tyron had him hurt. Like Jake,
people forget about that.
Through the ropes. Boom. He circles to his left, gets into his corner. Tyron's walking forward, ringing the fucking cowbell and telling everybody we're about to go home. And Jake said, yeah, you about to. Right hand.
And then he ends up burping Tyron Woodley.
Actually,
for a second, dude.
Child burping him.
Like,
I'm telling you.
You good, buddy?
That's a realistic possibility, and it's one that I haven't heard anyone really say yet. Jake could absolutely be hurt in this fight multiple times. But he is very dangerous when you hurt him. Like, he almost becomes more switched on to the point where his timing becomes like, what the fuck? And he lands a big one. But, okay. That's
what I think. I think Jake ends up knocking Tommy down.
Okay.
Now, whether he finishes him or not, like with Anderson, I'm not really sure he ends it. I mean, I could see him ending it.
Yeah.
But he definitely knocks him down multiple times, or at least once late, and then skates away with the victory, whether it's a TKO or a decision.
If Jake can pull this off, because let's just be frank about something here. I don't know if anybody wants to say this, but this is exactly how this should go. Tommy Fury should win this easily. Easily.
Yes. He should.
He has all the quote-unquote experience. He has all of the proper knowledge. He is every God-given gift in the sport of boxing except the want, in my opinion. And I wonder if something like that is enough. Does he, in those moments, quit on himself or freak out or just is not ready for what happens if things don't go as planned? Because everything's gone as planned so far. Everything. Every fight, almost every minute of every fight, outside of the Jordan Grant fight, everything's gone as planned. Something changes. Dude, I'm telling you, if Jake fucking wins this.
That's the thing. Jake has gotten hurt in fights. He's been in...
I'm saying. Things have gone wrong.
He's been challenged,
Things have gone wrong.
He's being... And he embraces that underdog. It's almost like Tommy acts like a bigger brother, and Jake embraces the little brother underdog just a lot better.
Yeah. Underdog I can see for sure. Like, he embraces, like, doubt a lot better. Whereas Tommy doesn't, I don't think, respond to doubt other than to kind of just brush it off like, oh, no, I'm above that. Where Jake will feed off of it.
Yeah, I think Tommy Fury's confidence comes more so from the fact that he thinks he should win.
Externally.
Right, like I should win this.
And he's right, he should.
Right, like I'm supposed to.
Right. Whereas Jake thinks it doesn't matter how many people, and again, all the stuff that we're saying, it doesn't necessarily matter. We're just looking at what exactly is motivating these two, and can that play a factor in any way in the dire straits of this fight? And it definitely can. And in those moments, Jake, I think, has a better mentality for what potentially could happen. But you're going with...
I'd be so annoyed, dude, if all this time, because of how we were against Jake all this time, now Ben Askren he's going to do this. And we've said, this guy's going to do the thing that we think he's going to do.
Yeah, and Tommy actually does it.
Every guy ever. Woodley's going to do this. He cracks him, then doesn't finish him. Yeah. All right. Anderson Silva catches him, is doing okay, then gets caught because he's being overconfident. Ben Askren, what the heck, dude? You know what I'm saying? And then we get here and then watch freaking
Tommy buy the book.
Tommy's just going to smoke him,
buy the
dude.
book.
Bang, 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 bang,
ding,
bang,
ding,
bang,
ding,
bang.
ding.
And we're like,
listen,
okay.
That is Sensei. You're saying either TKO or Jake by decision, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, there it is. Lock it in. By the way, comment section. We are going to do some predictions and wagers because something very, very special is coming this Saturday/Sunday. So there's a little preview. By the time this goes out, it'll probably be live anyway. But predictions and punishments, because I'm also going to drop my predictions. And comment section, let us know. What should the loser of our predictions, mine will be on my main channel, do? I have won I lost again. I lost our last one again. So I need to come up. I need to get back. Don't do that. Okay. No L's taken. But also, give us your predictions in the comments below. Who wins this fight and why? It's finally here, 2.5 years later. Let's get this thing done. Jake versus Tommy. Let's go.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs.